I don't know. I think it's true. Anyways, the figures are alarming, and the problem will not go away without a fundamental shift in owners' attitudes to feeding their pets.
It's true.
And it's also worrying that most owners are not aware of the problem because they are unable to recognize a fat pet in the first place.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that later. That's some of the things that are a problem, is that pet owners don't even recognize that their pet's overweight.
How do you know if your pet is overweight?
Well, first of all, you know what?
You go to ismypetoverweight.ca.
But in their defense, they see them every day.
Yeah.
They don't tend to see things because they're seeing it every day.
Yeah, no, and that's what happens too. It's these issues over here, and what I'm going to talk to you about right now is, before we continue this, a little bit of, we're going to take a phone call right now, then we're going to go to Law and Order. Let's go on the line right now. Giovanni in Toronto. Giovanni, you're on the air.
How you doing tonight, guys?
How are you, buddy?
Not too bad. I have a question about cat obesity and what kind of diet can I give my cat to make him lose some weight?
Okay, do you know what diet he's on right now?
Pardon me?
What diet is he on right now?
What is he eating? Well, I'm Italian, so I'm giving some pasta and some hard crunchies, and
Well, that's a good meal.
Yeah. Now, one thing that cat owners do all the time is they ad-lib feed their cats, meaning, they just put a big bowl of food down, and when the cat wants to eat, they just eat. And they've proven this in humans. If you sat on the couch all day and snacked and snacked and snacked, you're more likely to gain weight than if you just go and eat 3 meals and ate nothing in between. And even if you ate 3 huge meals, if you give your body a chance to rest, it speeds up your metabolism. So one thing I tell cat owners to first do is try to get them on a meal plan where you put a certain amount down in the morning, you put a certain amount down at night, and if they're finished it, oh well, too bad.
How old's your cat, Giovanni?
He's about 11 years old now.
Okay, so this is probably the prime time where you really want to make sure that the cat does lose some weight, because a lot of health issues will come up towards this later point in the
11 years old is like the perfect age for diabetes for cats who are overweight. So you have to just
when I was a kid, my parents that's what they used to give them, everything from the dinner table, right? So and they lasted for years.
Yeah.
So I don't know about these days, but it's not healthy for the cat as far as you're concerned, right?
No, definitely. It's something that as they get older, and of course, just like us, as you get older, their metabolism drops. So an 11-year-old cat, I'm sure he's not running laps around the house. He's probably sleeping 20 to 22 hours a day.
Courtesy of our good at Scoop Free and www.scoopfree.com, our good friends at Lucky Litter, you have just won yourself a Scoop Free Ultra Edition for that great question and that great call, Giovanni.
Oh, wow, great.
This thing is amazing. It cleans your cat stuff for you, gets rid of the stench, gets rid of the smell, does all the work you don't have to do, and especially for an 11-year-old cat, it's great because it tells you how many times digitally your cat is going to the bathroom. And remember one thing, Giovanni, when your cat's at a certain age, sometimes you'll never know if it's sick unless all of a sudden you see a spike in the amount of times it goes to the washroom or doesn't go to the washroom.
Right.
So this product is amazing. It is courtesy. It's worth like $200. You've won. I'm going to put you on hold. We're going to get all your information, and we're going to pick it up. You're going to pick it up at Westside. You're going to have a great time. Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thanks for
listening to Animal House Radio. Well, it's Giovanni. But that's a very interesting question. You know what? And we hear these things, especially from your clinic and from people in my area, too. Certain people of certain backgrounds eat a lot.
Yeah, well, we have a lot of Italians, a lot of people at my clinic, and it's all mangia. It's all about feeding them, and they do. It's it's a lifestyle. It's fine.
It's a good healthy lifestyle.
Yeah, it is. But sometimes we do give them a lot of scraps from the table, and that's where I tend to see a lot more. It's interesting how he was saying how he fed his cat table scraps. I see that a lot in dogs, but not a lot of people feed their cats table scraps. It's kind of cool that I never thought cats would be interested in that too much, but. Anyway.
Well, cats love chicken, right?
They do. They love any type of meat.
Cats love chicken. And right now, going back to the most famous segment of the segments, Law and Order, you brought to you by Law and Order on CTV. It's a great show. I like Special Victims Unit, personally. In Michigan, there was a law that makes it legal for a farmer to sleep with his animals. Could just be beside his animals. We don't know, but that's the law. When driving in Michigan, you must have someone in front of your car with a flag to warn horse carriages that a car is coming. Darn horse carriages. In Scotland, if right Scottish is crap there, it is illegal to be drunk and in possession of a cow. Because you don't know what could happen if you've been drinking in Scotland and you're hanging around with a cow. I guess maybe because people push the cows over. I don't know. In the city limits of Mount Dora, Florida, a pet rooster cannot say cock-a-doodle-doo.
Do you have to go for voice?
I don't know. It can't do the. It can't do it. Not allowed to do it.
Okay.
It's probably in some violation of some treaty or something.
That's where I saw those rooster muzzles once. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah, that was in Florida. Muzzles on everything. In New York, you can teach your parrot to speak, but you're not allowed to teach it to squawk.
Okay.
I don't even know what squawk is. I thought it was a food. Okay. And finally, if your dog chases a goat or a sheep in Memphis, you can be fined $25.
Wow.
So I suggest everybody in Memphis, Tennessee, take your dogs, put them in the area of farms, and go chase as many goats and sheep as you possibly can, and see if you get fined $25. Because it's not a big fine. You might as well. You agree with me, right, Joe? $25. I'll take the risk.
just to see it happen.
I want to see someone arrest me or give me a fine. What's the fine for? And just go to court and defend yourself. That's what I think is going to be funny. What were you doing? I let my dog loose to chase a sheep. Really? There's a $25 fine. Okay. I think that would just make the news. The show is brought to you by our good friends at Hill's Pet Nutrition, the makers of Science Diet, Prescription Diet, Pet Food, and www.ismydogoverweight.ca. When we come back, we're going to go into more topics about obesity in cats, obesity in dogs, some of the issues that are affecting everything. And there's a great article in the 24-hour paper that Dr. Mike wrote on Animal House. Go check it out. If you type in 24-hour Toronto or 24-hour Ottawa, you'll read the full article. And some very interesting things that we're going to get back to once we come back from break. We're going to speak to Tony, and we're going to get more into depth with the reasons, the myths, the logic behind how your dog is obese and what we can do to change that. We're going to take a break on Animal House.
This is Chris Botch, and this is tonight's top sign that your dog is overweight.
Tonight's top sign that your dog is overweight, brought to you by ismydogoverweight.ca. Tonight's top sign is you're 5'5", and your dog weighs more than you, baby. That is not good news. Put up that music, Richmond.
'Cause I hang when my balls stick.
It's the truth.
Why does I turn red every time this song comes on?
I don't know. I'm just letting you know.
Blah, blah, blah,
there you
blah.
go. You're 5'5", and your dog weighs more than you. Now you know that's pretty bad. That is pretty bad. You don't want to be there. No, you don't want to be there. We've all had overweight dogs and overweight girlfriends. We don't want to be there.
Okay.
Well, it's true. It's happened. 416-785-0680. I'm still in the mood to give away something else. And I want to thank our good friends at Domino's Pizza at the Marley location, once again, providing a great dinner for the cast and the crew of Animal House Radio. You can call them at 416-785-5400. Tell them that Animal House Radio sent you. Ask for Ronnie, because he's the owner, and delicious pizza. They are just like everybody else, but they put a little bit more love, magic, and care. And when I mean magic, you order a large, it shows up as an extra large with a piece missing. And then you say, where'd the piece go? They say, hey, it's magic.
Okay.
That's what happens. So I used to be a musician. Let's talk a little bit about the dog obesity. Now, let's go into a few things, and I want to ask you something over here. What are the trends of dog obesity right now? Because obviously we're seeing people out there, we're seeing dogs out there that are getting heavier and heavier and heavier all the time. This has become a trend. It's become like a lifestyle for some animals, right? So are there trends, and do you see trends?
Yeah. Well, it's no different than people. There's the definite trend that dogs are getting more overweight. The American Veterinary Medical Association actually found that obesity is the fourth leading cause leading disease in dogs causing death. Like, that's actually an interesting fact, I think. So, and like you said before, 20 to 30% of dogs in the States are overweight. That's I actually looked it up. It's 41 million dogs in the States are obese or overweight. It's a lot of that's a lot of pooches.
Well, you got to remember that represents, considering 70,000 pets are born a day. When you do the math on that, it's
scary.
That is pretty.
So
scary.
it's definitely trending in the wrong way, just like it is for us folks. It's definitely dogs and people both going the wrong way.
Yeah. And we're going to get more into that. And a little bit before we get Tony on the line here. Facts about fat. Fat is a rich source of energy. Per unit of weight, it contains of over double the amount of energy when compared to proteins. When food energy is available in plenty, then fat is laid down on the body. This is then converted back into energy when it is needed. I have no idea what I just said, This is something for maybe an expert to talk to me about how fat is broken down in the body and